with this.
I still can't get used to Zoom telling me it's recording in progress. I hate that.
Well, I mean, you got to understand the why. Like people, if someone's recording you,
Well, yeah,
you don't know it. So I appreciate it when it tells me, because it's like someone's just trying to fucking bait you into some horse shit.
exactly. Nobody's got time for that.
Nope.
JT, first up, thank you very much for coming on the show. I'm truly honored to have you on. Genuine fangirl right now.
Well, dude, absolutely. Why wouldn't I? This sounds like a blast. Also, you know, I just had one of your guys's dudes out here, a British soldier that came to the United States just to go see a black rifle, and he ended up running into Jack Mandeville, and we had him over here, and he spent all night with us in the bar.
That sounds incredible. That does sound good. I bet there were some good stories coming out of that.
100%. You know, we had a great time.
Was the whiskey flowing? That is the question.
Ooh, just right in that room, right there.
Oh, I need to get me some. Does your whiskey deliver, or is it deliver? Would it was deliver the right word? Ship. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't think so. I think liquor's a very difficult thing when it comes to selling, and you know, online and anywhere. It's every state, every country has a different law. Every state, every country has a different import tax, import procedure, paperwork, approval process. So it's wild. Very, very difficult business model. But you know, we said, screw it, let's try it.
Yeah. Well, it looks good. I'm sure it tastes better as well.
I promise it's good. I mean, we spent months choosing the right recipe that we all loved, and you know, I'm happy with it. I love it. I actually drink it.
Well, so you should.
Yeah, I am a mess right now because we're laying cement outside, so it's also 104 degrees.
Don't worry about that. Like I said, I'm literally in my shed cum studio, and it is literally like sitting in a sauna. So if I turn into a sweaty mess,
I watch a lot of YouTube videos of people that turn sheds into studios, and I love
it. yeah. It looks good from this angle. If you turn it around, it's a shit show. It's not good.
I'm on a Facebook group too that is just, you know, sheds to studios. It's awesome. I love just looking at what people do with. You get so many ideas of things that maybe
definitely.
I wouldn't think about.
Definitely. So what are you in right now? Are you in at work, or is that home, or is?
Yeah, this is my studio. It's in a building adjacent to where I live, so my actual house is about 75 meters that way. But this houses, so right beyond me, right here, is the vocal booth, and then beyond that is the camera room. Behind me here, I can pan this over.
Yeah.
You see, that's the editing bay, like, and then the couch for everybody to hang out while we edit. And then if you look that way, that's the bar.
You got to have a bar.
I can turn the lights off so you guys can see it probably. Yeah.
Look at that. That is now. That's what every man dreams of.
Well, it's years and years. You know, we're almost coming up on a decade. And
genuinely been that long. Fucking time flies, man.
Matt, in 2023, Matt and I will have our 10-year anniversary of making videos and doing fun stuff and all that. So it was years of kind of just going through this process of we film, we sit and edit, and then we hang out. So I combined it all together because
it makes sense.
We were piled into a 12 by 12 office room, you know, in one of our spare bedrooms, and there was never enough seats, and you're spilling drinks and things like that. So I was like, well, wait, what if I did an editing studio with a bar on the other side? And now everybody can come and go, watch the new edits, watch the different things that we're doing, but also have a place to hang out right here where there's still a part of it, because this is a giant sliding glass door, and you can see from the bar the editing screen, you know, as the clean feed output on the canvas, so everybody can watch.
See, everything's got to start somewhere, isn't it? As they say, the oak tree grows from the smallest acorn. Can't be the cheesy line. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's incredible to see the growth in what you guys have achieved as well. When you first look back at some of the first videos, you're like, that's like old school YouTube videos, and then all of a sudden it's like miniature movies that you guys have got. It's incredible.
I mean, but that was the path that we were all on. We started doing this because Matt and myself wanted to make movies. We wanted to be cinematic. We wanted to know how to watching thousands upon thousands of hours of tutorials with guys like Ryan Connolly at Film Riot. I mean, that guy taught me how to make videos. He taught me how to take regular videos and make them into movies, and then create cinematic, masterpieces with little to no money and little to no gear. There's a really good short film that Ryan Connolly did called Tell, Tell. I encourage everybody to watch it, because then you can go back and watch the making of Tell. They did it for like $300. So they made this awesome short for the writing in the short was amazing, because it kept you in suspense the entire time. And then you go and you watch the making of it, and it was beg, borrow, and steal, and invite friends over to help you make a movie in over a weekend. And it was awesome. And that's like motivating as hell. Is look at what this guy did with $300. Look at what Rebel Without a Crew.
Yeah.
That book where the movie Desperado, well, the precursor to Desperado, was made for $15,000 out of him donating blood, or no, it wasn't donating blood. He was signing up for medical experimentation for fucking pharmaceutical companies.
I think that's what a lot of people did when we got the COVID vaccine without getting paid for it.
Are you allowed to say that? Is this getting flagged now?
Oh, probably. Never mind. I've said some stupid stuff on here.
About to kick your door and
yeah,
eat your ass.
Yeah, they'll be storming through in a minute. Well, one thing that I was really impressed with, and I'm just blowing smoke up your ass now as well. Range 15, I found absolutely hilarious. And the reason why I found Range 15 to start with was I'm really into The Fighter and the Kid with Brian Callen and Brennan Sharp, and obviously they were in it, and they were talking about it, and I was like, who is this? What is this? Why have I not seen this? And then I came across it on YouTube, and I put it on, and I went, this is really underrated as a horror comedy. It is hilarious. And who knew you guys could act a little bit? You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. I mean, it was our first film, and I think, like, I'm hoping, if things go my way, you're gonna see more in the next few years. Like, we got very busy, with the company and the business, but now that we were able to hire a lot of good people to handle a lot of those things, like, I want to push back into movies. Travis Pastrana has written a feature film that is really cool that he's pushing to do. I helped write another feature that's just about, it's another just batshit bananas like thing about us and coffee. Essentially, we've been adding psychedelics to the coffee.
Oh,
it's a really funny like play with all of our characters in it. Will it get made? Who knows? But it was fun.
Yeah. It's just sounds like a fucking beautiful culture that you guys have created, and like a tribe, you could say. Because everybody, most veterans, they tend to fail in finding their tribe after they leave the military, or some still serving in the military struggle to get that comradeship back. Comradeship, is that the right word? I like to make words up.
I think it's more difficult. Like, you kind of take the United States, it's a very big place.
Yeah.
And when And when a guy finishes his tour, whether it be, you know, 1 enlistment, 2 enlistments, or go the full 20, he generally tends to move back home where he came from.
Yeah.
And when he moves back home, he realized a lot of things changed while he was gone, and the buddies he ran around with as a kid are no longer there. Everybody's kind of different, and then
I was gonna say people are different.
Yeah.
We're bred different in the military.
And then you no longer have the 10 dudes you show up to work with that are the exact same as you, that you laugh about this most ridiculous and horrific shit with. And it's like you start to become a recluse when you roll into a new place, in a new career, in a new job, and you start carrying over that team room, that barracks kind of sense of humor and just personality, and you get the looks and the kind of pull away and disgust from regular people of like, what is wrong with this person? Then you start to feel alienated and pull out.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, no, I want nothing to do with these people. And then that kind of snowballs into this very large disconnect between civilians and veterans. Is, you know, a lot of guys get that angst or kind of hatred towards being rejected for just being who they were, where they came from. And it's like, and that's what kind of fuels the divide. And then they just feel alone. And that is, you know, that is why for, you know, 8 years ago, we created Drinking Bros, which was the large network across the world that lets you find somebody that's just like you. And, you know, our motto in the beginning was never drink alone again. And
that's a brilliant motto as well. 100%. I totally agree with that motto. And I find being a veteran, you're sort of in your own little limbo as such, because you're no longer a member of the military as such. You're still technically one of the brotherhood, if you could say that. But then you're also now technically a civilian, and you just don't. Well, I struggle to fit in with civilians because I'm probably similar to you guys, very dark sense of humor. I find things funny that shouldn't be funny, and like even my wife, like when we go out, she has to like sort of guide people into talking to me because she's like, you guys are just not going to understand his humor. And then I'll say something stupid, and then I get funny looks, and I end up sitting there drinking on my own for a bit. But I'm quite lucky. I've got 2 of my closest friends who I served with in the Air Force. They literally live around the corner. So if I ever need that fix, that fill, I just give them a phone call and go, guys, fancy a beer or not?
No, that's awesome. But also too, I think, like where you say it's a weird limbo being a veteran because you're kind of half foot out, half foot in. But I also think it opens a lot of doors, because when you are out, you're kind of able to cross-pollinate a lot better with any MOS, any job, anybody that just was in the military. It's like you meet
I agree there.
You meet a random Navy guy, and you're just excited that it's another service member. You're not like when you were in.
There's no rivalry.
Oh, fuck the Navy.
I always find you have that initial bit of banter, that little bit of you take the piss. Yeah, you're in the fucking Navy, you're in the Marines, whatever. Where's your crayons, you cunt? But after that, it's like you're just another service person, and I totally get that. I love all that. Definitely.
Well, I mean, it's definitely been fun with us, because it's like the people that do approach me everywhere I go, whether it's the airport or in random cities and random states, it's always the people I would love to hear about or from or hang out with. Like, they're all cool, rad dudes. I met this guy coming out of a random bar in Moscow, Idaho, nowhere. Like, I walk in and he's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing here?" He's a younger dude, but it was just like, I don't know. let's rage.
Yeah, that's cool. How did you like cope with the like sort of fame, you could say, that has sort of come with the Black Rifle
Well,
coffee?
I'll tell you what, like there's no manual for it, and it definitely is weird because you're held to a different, you know, some people have this weird I would say expectation. Like in my mind, I'm still an E6, like assistant team sergeant on a TACP team, like or running the team, whatever it is. And I also, you know, was an instructor for TACP. So like, man, I I taught for 4 years, and I was a freaking wild man. Like I tore into these kids, and it was of all ages, 17 to 41 guys trying to become a TACP. And so it's like nowadays, if someone pops off and you respond with, "Hey, I'll fucking kick you in the goddamn teeth," and they're all of a sudden like, "Oh, you can't say that. You have a business. It's like, no, motherfucker. Like,
No,
that's not how this works.
I don't give a shit about your pronouns. I'll kick you in the face.
But also, you know, it was really, I would say, like from 2018 to like 2020 was really rough because kind of the weight of it all came down, because again, like a lot of the community looked to me and Matt to like help or fix any problem that came down the chute. So it was like anytime something happened with veterans or something horrible happened to a veteran, which is daily, it was messages, emails, comments, questions of, "Hey, you guys got to jump in and fix this." And it was like, yeah, at first we were like, "Oh, okay, let me see what I can do." And then they piled up, and then they piled up, and then you're getting the most horrific things written to you at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. Like I had one guy write in that his 3-year-old daughter just died in their house fire, like, and he didn't know what to do. And like, this is falling on my lap at 11 o'clock at night on Instagram. And I'm like, Jeez. I can't ignore the guy.
No, it's one of those.
"Oh, sorry about your shit luck, man." It's like the amount of nights that I've stayed up on the phone with guys, or just really dove into chatting with them and giving the best advice I could in areas I definitely wasn't qualified, but I was just trying to pull it out the best I could.
Fucking
that
madness.
Stuff it piled up, and it just got to the point where it was like I didn't want to hear any more bad news. Like that's all.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. And that people got to realize that then weighs a toll on yourself. And you know, when you're running, God knows how many businesses, like you got the clothing line, you got the whiskey, you got the coffee. You're also producing XXX, not porn, but you know, but you know, you've got all these different avenues that you're creating and co-creating and giving out new ideas. You've got your own shit to deal with, and I totally understand that people need that outlet and they see you guys as like the prominent figure in the veteran community. But come on fellas, there are closer people to home that could probably help you out from time to time.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying you guys would say no, fuck you.
Yeah, but that's definitely a thing, though. It's kind of like yeah, you lean on your close friends first, like
definitely
it's something like, but also, yeah, again, I'm not turning anybody down, but it just the volume of it was too much. Like, again,
I bet
any given day I'm getting asked for 20 to 50 things from anybody. Like, can you do this? Can you do this? What could we do this? Oh, by the way, could you support this? Could you donate to this? Can you do this? Like, it becomes a lot. Like, especially too, like, I don't have anybody touching or messing with my stuff. Like, so there's no block to me. And I like it that way because
it keeps you authentic. I get that.
And I want, this is the community that lifted us up and brought us to where we are today. And I never want to become untouchable or unavailable. I always want.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
But just notice sometimes if you get me in a little bit of a nippy mood, it's probably because, you know, it was rough,
gnarly because yeah. I totally get that. And you know, so sometimes people have got to like put their brain in gear a little bit, you know, screw the nut.
I tell you what, this is, and it's still just a fraction. It's a fraction, you know. We're popular in our own circle, but this kind of run through over the last 10 years has shown me exactly why celebrities and child stars turn to hard drugs. Like, I see why they just get burnt out and they just shut off. And it's just because when everything seems like a ruse to get you to do something, you no longer know what's real. It's like you look at a guy like Robin Williams that committed suicide after, but he was worldly level famous for fucking 4 decades, if not more. Like, I imagine that he arrived at a point one day in his life where he didn't know if any relationship in his life was real.
Yeah.
Or if, and this was something that Travis Pastrana had told me early on, like 2015. Because I had asked the question, I was like, how do you deal with some of this? And he goes, well, you know, generally if I meet somebody and they're like, and they're cool and they want to hang out and stuff like that, I kind of look at it like a 90-day probationary period and wait 90 days and see if they ask for something big, you know, like, hey, would you endorse the script, or would you introduce me to this person? And he's like, if they pass that 90 days, you're pretty much good.
Yeah.
Don't fucking chill them out.
Yeah, I get it. I get that. And it's, yeah, I get you. I get where you're coming from, especially I literally I'm tiny. Nobody really knows who I am, so I'm quite lucky at the minute. So fingers crossed I kind of stay that way. But yeah, I can't even imagine. Like, I struggle sometimes with just having 1,000 followers and get 3 fucking messages. I'm like, Jesus, I got to reply really quick. Fuck. But yeah, one thing I do want to actually like talk about a little bit is obviously your time with TACP, because we have JTACs and things like that coming out of my regiment, and one of my close friends is actually a JTAC at the minute, and fuck, I was jealous. I got pushed into signals.
They're Widowmaker.
I believe so. Yes.
I have. Yeah, I used to have one of their coins in my wallet, but I replaced it with a memorial coin.
Well, we'll let you have that one.
Yeah. So I do know that their call sign is something close to that.
I believe so. I believe it's Widowmaker or something along those lines. But when I was serving, I got pushed down the signals route because I was good at comms. I was good at all that. But I was like, well, if that's the case, can I go to TACP? Can I part of 16 Air Assault, or can I go to become a JTAC in the Air Assault? And they were like, oh, no, you need to stay here and just do normal radios. It's like, no, stop stifling my career. I remember sitting there. I was in Camp Bastion, or Camp Leatherneck, as you might know it.
Bastion.
Yeah, and I used to sit next to the air cell and watching them even just call in air from where they were and things like that. I was like, I'm so jealous right now. But did you just happen to fall into TACP, or was it something that you were like, that's what I want?
I fell into it. I was in basic training for the Air Force. They came in and talked about, you know, the job, and they needed volunteers, and that's kind of how you got to go through this little this little selection orientation thing. It was a couple hours of them giving you a PT test and smoking you up a little bit, see who, you know, there was a bunch of people that showed up for it, and a bunch of guys quit within the first like 10 seconds. And it was like, okay, they took your name down and they're like, all right, if we choose you, you'll get a new enlistment contract by the end of your basic training. So I got the sheet, and they said, all right, you got selected. And I went down to Herbert Field and went through the course. It was wild. You know, I was really young. I was the youngest guy in my class. I just turned 18. And I was good to go. Like it was difficult. It definitely was difficult for me because I was a child.
Still a child, yeah.
But I did very well. I got to go to airborne school. So I went from TACP Tech School to US Army Airborne School, and then went to SEER, and then showed up at the 14th ASOS in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, supporting the 82nd Airborne. It was awesome, dude. I loved it.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
That is cool, to be fair. What was your favorite aircraft to work with?
Apaches.
Fucking killing machines. They're killing machines.
The air crew are literally just trained for air to ground support, and you got two of them, and they're below 1,500 feet, so they can see things. So it's like when it comes to safely employing munitions from an aerial asset, I'm gonna say Apaches all day long. I know people will slight me and say, how dare you disregard the A-10? The A-10's great.
I was gonna say, what about the A-10? I'm a huge fan of the Warhog.
The A-10's awesome, but if you're in a dense urban environment, it's hard to get airspace to employ munitions from an A-10, and that's where all my fighting was done, was in the city of Mosul and just outside of Sadr City in Baghdad. So
you do most of your tours in Iraq?
Yeah, I did two tours.
Yeah. So I went to Iraq. I was in Basra Air Base.
Down south.
Yeah, we got to close that up. It was a joy. It was no kinetics apart from a few rockets onto the camp, which when you're 21 years old and you have bombs dropping on you, you're like, what the fuck have I just signed up for? But that only lasts for about one or two, and then you're like, oh, there's another one. My wife finds that mad. She's like, how do you just adapt to it? And I went, well, it's just a daily occurrence. It's you know, you can tell the ones that are stuck on camp because they panic a lot more. So you just watch them hit the deck, and then you kind of just stroll through the chow hall and grab some extra food.
That's funny.
But yeah, I enjoyed Iraq. Iraq was good. It was a good tour. Quite quiet. It was nice.
Yeah, and you guys had Basra. You had Basra since like 2004. It was all the UK's. So
yeah, well, we handed it over to the US, and I believe the locals gave you a nice present the day that we flew out. So our last aircraft took off, and I think they rocketed Basra Air Base 64 times in that night. You're like, hey, you're welcome.
Wow.
Yeah, good times. So it's some of the best times I had, to be fair. Well, my wife still finds it strange that I say that. Like, in the mix of all the chaos, it's when you're at the most peace, I find.
Well,
when you're surrounded by you.
It's an odd kind of thing to assess because, you know, every generation has had a war. We went. Was it worth it? Was it justifiable? Probably fucking not.
Probably not. No.
I mean, would the Iraqi people probably be better off if we had just left once we got Saddam? Probably.
Yeah. Hide and seek champion.
Yeah. But I'm glad for the experience, just because every human being that has come before us has had to face this. It doesn't matter when. Like I mean, you guys have a history of 2,000 years worth of.
Yeah, we don't fuck about, which is probably why the majority of the world don't really like us that much.
You're just around conquering shit, you know.
Yeah.
Was up until the late 1940s, you still owned India, right?
Yes. Yep. Yep. Well, there you go. You can have that back if you want.
Hey.
Thanks.
Not behind your back, India and a number of other countries.
Yeah, I believe I think there's only 22 countries in the world that we never had, which is mad. Which is mad. I'm pretty sure there's a British flag on like Antarctica as well, which is madness.
I mean, I guess that's what it was back in the day. Eddie Izzard said it best. You conquered the world with the cunning use of a flag.
Yes. It's crazy. It's crazy. I've had a. You may know Adam Dorito, or you may have heard of him.
Yeah.
I've had him on the podcast a few times, and I've got his phone number and whatnot, and every now and then I'll take a photo of a pub sign that's like from 1215 or something, and it's like, this pub is older than your country. Unlucky.
I need to come over there. I want to go to these old pubs.
They're amazing. They're amazing, to be fair. We've got one literally just down the road in my village, just down the road. Unfortunately,
you live in a little village?
I live in a little village. Yeah, it's tiny.
See, that's the type of place I want to visit.
Yeah, it's tiny. We've got a pub and a shop, and that is it.
Is there a hotel that I could stay at and walk to the pub?
There's a hotel up the road from my house that has a pub in it, and that's an old one as well.
Let's set this trip up.
We need to. We need to. And as well, where I am, so I'm in Kent. So obviously that was big during World War II. We got bombed a lot. But up the road, literally 40 minutes up the road on the train or in the car, you're in London. So, you know, we don't fuck about.
Yeah, well, I don't want to. I'm not really interested in London. I don't want to go to no.
Do you know what? A man after my own heart. I hate London. London also scares me because of it's just horrible. It's just a horrible place. It looks nice on TV. Ooh, the Queen lives there and that.
I'm looking up your town right now, Kent,
mm-hmm.
United Kingdom.
So my village is called Eccles, which is ECC. Hold on, here's my dyslexia kicking in. ECC. This is going to be good on the SoundCloud, isn't it? ECC. Yeah, ECCLES. Eccles, Aylesford. Yeah, Kent. Tiny it is.
It took me to
Ergerton. There's a few. There's an Eccles in Manchester as well. But you want the one that's in Kent?
So you said Eccles?
Yeah, ECCLES.
Eccles Village, Kent, England. Okay, there we are.
That's my little area.
That is something.
Literally out the back of my shed right now is just
a lot of fields though.
Yeah, just empty farmland out the back of my house.
A couple little lakes.
Yep.
So this looks awesome. I want to visit.
You come visit me anytime. You could bring the whiskey though.
Okay, I can do that. I'll smuggle it in. I promise.
Definitely have to set this up. We'll have to set this up.
Absolutely. So yeah.
Definitely. So on my timer, we got 4 minutes. So it's up to you. We can put an end, or we can do another 40 minutes and then put an end. I don't know how busy you are.
I'm gonna run back and make sure those guys are still good with the cement. I feel bad coming in.
Mate, that's no problem. That's no problem at all. That's no problem. It's quick and awesome. Now, genuinely though, it's been my privilege and my honor to have you on. I could talk to you for hours. I think we could fool Joe Rogan this.
Let's do it. Let's schedule it. Next week or next month, whenever you want. Like,
definitely
we'll jump on again. And if you want to go very specific on just one thing so we could dive into it, by all means, I'm in.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I did. Right. But this is how small I am. I did put some questions out. I said, did anyone want to ask you any questions?
Oh, perfect.
Fucking nobody's answered me, so you don't get any questions today. Fuckers.
All right. Well,
fuck these fuckers.
I'll give them the answers first. It's 4, yes, absolutely. maybe if Kathy Ireland was involved.
100%. JT, it's been amazing to have you on, and we'll definitely schedule another one. Dude, and we'll get some more questions on.
We're gonna come over there and see you. I think that's overdue.
Definitely. Get your asses over here, all of you.
we'll make a whole video of us getting kicked out of the pub.
That's not that difficult.
No, we don't want to get kicked out. We'll just close it down. We'll
be too drunk.
Rowdy. We don't break things. We don't hurt people. Like we just hang out.
Definitely. We need to sort this out. Right. I'll leave you to your cement. Enjoy the rest of your day. And again, thanks for coming on.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Take care.
And you. Catch you in a bit.